Hello, welcome to another edition of The Naked Truth. My name is John Singletary.
And my name is Ramon Roan.
And today we're going to talk about minimum wage. Minimum wage in the United States. They set a minimum wage, but the truth is each state can set its own.
Yeah.
And in some states, the company determines.
Right.
So even though there's a federal minimum wage, sometimes it's irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
Here in South Carolina, at the right to work state, even though oftentimes the market should set what wage you pay, unfortunately we have here a situation where many businesses pay less than the federal.
Mm-hmm.
And we have many people who work, let's just take for instance fast food. At one point, fast food, a lot of the workers were fill-in, part-time students, and they really didn't have the need to be paid a lot because a family wasn't dependent upon them. Mm-hmm. Now, with the employment situation, or should I say unemployment situation, you have a lot of people who are trying to take care of families based on the very same type of job that was traditionally assigned to students. Mm-hmm. And so the minimum wage traditionally paid in those positions is simply not enough. Now, on the one hand, people say, well, go out and get you another job or get educated so that you can get a job that pays you more. There's a lot of educated people walking around with no jobs because in some places the jobs are not available. Mm-hmm. Going to college does not guarantee you to even get a job. Mm-hmm. To just be able to take advantage of it if one comes along. Yeah. But when you have a situation where you've got a class of people who have not been liberated to the point where you can go out and you can literally have the freedom to realize your fullest potential, starting a business and moving forward. Now it happens sometimes, but those are far and few between. Few. Most Fortune 500 companies in America were started by someone who doesn't even have a college degree. Right. Well, in that liberated sector of the population, no matter what, you have the freedom to go out and to be able to take advantage of a lot of things that in this case, African American population were not. When you go to banks, and the banking system is more favorable with giving you loans. Right. When you have a situation where contracts that a non-African American would have available to them, but with an African American, it makes it so much more difficult. And what it does is it shortens your ability to go out and equally compete. We don't want to trade off education for being liberated to the point where no matter what your level of education, at least you can still go out and earn a living on a fair basis. Right. Fair competition. And that has not happened. So there has to be a minimum wage in order to protect the class of people, as not just African Americans, but those who've been less fortunate in terms of being whites as well. Because oftentimes now, even they don't have the opportunity on the lower end of the socioeconomic sector that they once had in terms of going out and starting a business, because oftentimes now, through lobbying, a certain domain or business sector will build in high costs to start just so that they can keep people from being able to enter.
Well, the minimum wage now is an issue.
Minimum wage
is an issue. It is an issue. And I'll tell you, well, it's an issue because there are a lack of jobs that are available because underneath, and I pause here, John, because I'm not trying to be political, okay? But in our last 6 years, those high-paying jobs, those jobs provided, because in the last 6 years, America as a whole is making less money, bringing in less money per year.
It depends on, as a whole.
As a whole, yeah. Now the top wage earners, such as the 1%ers, their income has actually increased. But the middle income has actually decreased by on average about $4,000. The last numbers I got for the black community is $8,000. Now the minimum wage, why, when you and I were coming out and we're in school, be it you working for McDonald's or whatever, we got minimum wage. I can't remember what's 5 and change, I think, back in the day, but you got minimum wage.
3 1/4 when I came along.
Okay, all right. So I can't remember what it was, but anyway, the minimum wage was a starting point. But if you're gonna, if the president wanted to take the fast food industry from $7.25 an hour to $15 an hour, where is that money coming from?
It's going to come from the gross profit minus labor.
Well, there are many businesses
they're going to pass. Businesses will always pass on to the public increases.
You're right. So you're going to get rid of the dollar menu. You get rid of the dollar menu. You know that, right? You're getting rid of the dollar menu.
Dollar menu bad anyway because they ain't never garbage. Don't need to be in nobody's gut.
Hold on, gentlemen. Dollar menu. If y'all know how John and food is, now come on now, John.
The dollar, I don't eat off the dollar menu.
Yeah, I know.
The dollar menu is garbage. I'd rather put ketchup on a piece of cardboard.
John, you don't eat healthy, man. You don't eat healthy. Your wife tells you the same thing. You don't eat healthy.
Wait. Oxtails, rice, gravy, that's good.
That's
healthy. Listen, all of my people live to be close to 100 years old, and they ate that good stuff all their life. All their life.
Anyhow, minimum wage is not to be a career. It's supposed to be $15 an hour.
No, but
you're a fry technician.
When you have so many people who have moved over into that sector because other jobs are not available, you got college students.
That's the question.
Graduated working in McDonald's. Then what happens is now, on the whole, you have to look to protect the public.
Why?
You have to take a look at
why aren't there being more jobs created that will do that?
Well,
not a fry technician getting
a lot of jobs have gone overseas.
True.
Out to Canada.
True.
Even when they make things in Canada now, they can put "Made in America" on it.
Yeah, okay,
and
it's
not even made here. Of course, we know some have gone to Mexico. Tons of jobs in the high tech area have gone to India.
Well, you're right about that.
And so, as a result of that, it has drained the jobs out of the American economy, and what is left, certainly you have to be able to protect on the whole, not just the person. Now you have to realize that the IRS wants money, and if you increase the minimum wage, they're going to get more too. So the government has an interest in increasing the minimum wage. But the other thing is this, that if the people you employ can't afford the product that you're putting out, then you need to really take a look at that, because eventually that means the general public won't, and in your own best interest, you headed to go out of business.
Well, John, if I'm paying an employee $7.25 and now I got to pay him $15 an hour, did his productivity matches $15 an hour?
Well, in a lot of cases, it does. In a lot of cases, they have been working and you have been making, businesses have been making more money, but yet not sharing that with the employees. So as a result, they have been getting richer and richer, and the poor have been getting poorer and poorer. And on the other hand, what's happened in a lot of cases is that because they have been trying to shave expenses, not only has the production per employee gone up, but they've also been trying to shave expenses, and as a result, their greed has caused them to make sure that the labor has lagged behind.